Welcome back, my duelist friends. Casual Duelist here, and I've actually got a viewer requested build today, and it's been a couple weeks. I want to say it was Arbogast. I want to say this was your request, and this came out right around the same time I did Exodia with Destiny Heroes, and you said, build a deck with Legendary Exodia Incarnate. I want to see what you could do with it. And that was such a cool idea, and I forgot that I owned these things. I forgot this was part of the Legendary Deck series at one point. Um, so I went ahead and I built a deck. I got an extra deck, and you guys let me know how I did. So I'm gonna try to do this more engine-esque, and I know I'm gonna fail anyway. But let's start off the deck. It's gonna be 3 copies Legendary Exodia Incarnate. This is gonna be your boss monster with a secondary win condition. That's going to make playing Exodia a little more enjoyable and definitely way more casual. And this was very fun to mess around with. And again, if you're going to do that, you have to have all of your Exodia pieces. So dust them off, put them in there. There's 8 cards of your deck already. I went with mostly a spellcaster build. So since I was doing so much with level 1s already, I decided I'd throw in a Jester Confit to make some of my extra deck plays a little more reliable. I went with 2 copies of Mathematician because I like his sort of like Foolish Burial effect. I got 2 copies Boy Blue or the Spellbook Magician of Prophecy. A little Spellbook engine going to happen. 3 copies Summoner Monk. Good card, great card. And when you guys see the amount of spells we're going to be using, this will also help sort of rectify or correct your hand. Once you have spells that are either once per turn or you just don't have the ability to activate them anymore. So this will help clear up the multiple copies. And Witch of the Black Forest. And I wanted to talk about this one, and I realized I slipped out of my own method today. But I really wanted to give you guys the errat effect on this, because if you guys look at these ones, these are the original Battle Pack 01s. So these are a fairly old version of the effect. And just real quick, the way that Witch of the Black Forest works these days is if it's sent from field to graveyard, you still add a monster with 1500 or less defense from the deck to the hand, which is a lot of targets, but Incarnate is the most important. But you cannot activate card effects or the effects of cards with that name for the rest of this turn. You can only use this effect of Witch of the Black Forest once per turn. So there are a couple more limitations, which made her a little more fair, which is why she came back off the ban list after so many years. So we got to play her the new way, even if you have the old text. And that was basically that. So let's talk spells, things that are going to help you correct your hand. One of those is going to be card destruction. It's really great to get the mulligan. We're going to use hand destructions because, again, we kind of get bonuses for and power-ups for having our Exodia pieces in a discard pile. And again, this will help cut away excess cards in your hand. I got the instant fusion because it's going to run double duty, being our Called by the Grave, because we're going to use the Millenniumize Restrict. But additionally, it's going to feed into some of our link play and link builds, so that's going to be amazing. Got the One Day of Peace because generic draw. We're going to run 3 copies Spellbook of Knowledge, as well as 3 copies Spellbook of Secrets. These go with the 2 Boy Blues. Again, we're going to have 3 copies Unexpected Die. We want to develop our Exodia appendages as quickly as possible, since that's part of our summoning condition. And I couldn't find a card that was going to do it any better than this, and I wanted to make sure that we could mess around with the hand more. So adding 3 of these as opposed to the 1 copy of 1 for 1, this felt like the better choice. And again, round out the spells with an Upstart Goblin. And I ended up having a space. I almost put Called by the Grave in here, and then I remembered Wonder Wand from Speed Duels. So I asked my wife. She gave me one of her copies to use, so I didn't have to dig it out of the Speed Duel box tonight. And we're running a single copy of Wonder Wand. The traps, we're going to run 2 copies of Obliterate because it is just the most fun I've ever had with such a niche trap card. And 3 copies of Strike, because Strike is, again, just one of my favorite utility cards. It's going to stop you from getting overrun, as well as be able to hit those effects, which, again, is one of the reasons I didn't end up with my Called by the Grave in this build. The extra deck is kind of going to blow this out of being budget. We do have the Millenniumize Restrict. We're going to use a Thousand-Eyes Restrict, 2 different situations. And the rest is all links. So we're going to run the Apollosa Bow of the Goddess, single copy Artemis Magistus Moon Maiden, single Boral Sword Dragon, single IP Masquerena, a little Nightmare package of Cerberus, Phoenix, and of course Unicorn. We are going to run a single Link Spider. I almost ran this at 2. It's more consistent at 1. 1 copy Link Karibo, again, so many level 1s. Relinquished Anima, so many level 1s. Salaman Great Owl Mirage is just another easy to get and is also going to give us some protections. Saryuja Skull Dread, if you guys can climb all the way up to 4 for Apollosa or getting into the Boral Sword, this can also help you establish some board position with extra summonings and stuff. So that's very good. And of course, Triple Burst Dragon. I don't usually play this guy, but I don't know. I had an extra space. I know he's good, and I wanted to throw him in a deck, so I did. So that is the build, and if that is all that you guys came by for, I do want to take a couple seconds. I want to thank you guys for stopping by. That means a whole lot to me. If you enjoyed this and you'd like to support the channel in some way, the best and the easiest way is, if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel and let your friends know about it. It's the best way for this channel to grow, and I really enjoy it when I watch those numbers go up. It puts a big smile on my face. Additionally, if there's a deck that you guys would like to build, and I'm probably not going to do this through October, just because I have some spooky decks for the Spooktober already lined up and ready to go. And as soon as we get an official ban list decision from Konami, again, they said no sooner than the 1st, and let's see, this would be, I'm taping this on Saturday night, but this will come up on the 19th, so we're still going to have like 12 days or so before that would even be an issue. They will probably get it in about a week. But yeah, if you guys have a deck that you'd like to challenge me to build, or you'd like to request me to build, I'm up for it. But again, probably not during October. We'll see how that goes. A lot of things going on. But thanks for stopping by. You guys are dismissed. And anybody who wants to know more about the card effects here, you guys stick around and we'll go over this for you. So let's start back with the main deck. And let's start with our boss monster, the legendary Exodia Incarnate. So this cannot be normal summoned or set, must be special summoned from the hand by tributing 1 forbidden 1 monster, and cannot be special summoned by other ways. Gains 1000 attack for each forbidden 1 monster card in your graveyard, unaffected by other card effects, which is kind of amazing. Once per turn during your end phase, add, and this is not optional, add 1 forbidden 1 monster from your graveyard to your hand. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can reveal any number of Forbidden 1 monster cards in your hand, and if you do, draw 1 card for each. So, he's really cool. We just want to keep juggling Exodia back into the discard pile, and even if our opponent uses like DD Crow to zap one, we're still not going to be in too bad a position because, again, Exodia is sort of a secondary win con. This deck is more made to just have fun with your friends and play a big beefy Exodia thing. And so, again, pretty cool, pretty awesome, and I love it, honestly. So in order to play it, you do need to have pieces of Exodia. You'll notice that all 5 are Forbidden 1 cards. Very important. So the maximum power that card could be at is 5,000. And again, we're going to show you a myriad of ways to just get these guys to the field. And if you do, again, if you have all 5 pieces in your hand at any point in the game, and there's no effects on the resolution stack, just feel free to show them to your opponent and go, you know what? Good game. Let's go again. I am running the single copy of Jester Confit. A couple of things. Again, level 1, Spellcaster, unintentional theme today. You can only control 1 Jester Confit. You can special summon this card from your hand in attack position. If special summoned this way during the opponent's next end phase, target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Return both this and that card to the hand. I'm really using him to just sort of set up to try to link climb in the early game. Between being able to play something like this after, playing Unexpected Die real quick. Unexpected Die gives us a character which we can go into Link Spider to generate another character from our hand, and then we could spot this. And that could already get us up to a Link 3. realistically speaking. Um, so yeah, it's kind of fun. Or again, this will allow us to put multiple copies of Exodia cards into the discard pile to start setting up our Incarnate. The Mathematician, when this is normal summon, you can send a level 4 lower monster from deck to graveyard. When this is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can draw one card. Sometimes it gets destroyed. Most of the time, I'm just using it as a Foolish Burial and then going into a link effect. We are using 2 of the Spellbook Magician of Prophecy, so if this is normal or flipped face up, add 1 Spellbook spell from deck to hand. And again, for deck thinning purposes, you almost always want to go from Secrets into Knowledge. It's just the most linear path. Up next would be the Summoner Monk card. This card cannot be tributed. When this card is normal or flip summon, change it to defense. Once per turn, you can discard a spell card, special summon a level 4 monster from the deck. It cannot attack this turn. What's really cool about this is, again, this is going to be one of my link plays. I'm always going to go for Witch. I think Witch is actually my only target, being the only other 4-star in this deck, because that's what, like, it's like a 10, 3, handful of 1s, another couple 3s, some 2s. So Witch is my only option. And I would be lying if I said I didn't immediately think, could I throw Utopia Double and Double or Nothing into the deck? And I chose not to. But again, you could. But I chose to Link Climb doing this just because when you Xyz with Witch stops being on the field, and because the way material works on an Xyz monster, you will fail to resolve Witch's effect. However, with Link, we will still get resolution of this effect, and that is why I went that route. And again, Witch, I'm reading from the errated tablet screen on the side. And when it is sent from field to graveyard, add a monster with 1500 or less defense from your deck to the hand. You cannot activate cards or effects of cards with that same name for the rest of this turn. Effect once per turn. This is important because Exodia Incarnate has a 0 for its defense, which means the defense is a known value as opposed to this question mark stuff. Because again, if this was Sangan can't search for question marks because question marks are an unknown variable effect or variable stat and would therefore make it illegal. This will also let you grab out any piece of Exodia. This will allow you to get your Jester Confits. You can grab Mathematicians. You can grab the Spellbooks of Prophecy. The only thing you can't grab is the Summoner Monks. So not a bad deal at all. Moving over to the spells, card destruction. Both players discard their hands, draw that same amount of cards back. Again, this is just a good quick mulligan. If you started with a bunch of Exodia pieces and you really want to get into your Incarnate, this is a great way to start. Hand destructions. Again, if you think your opponent's going to sit on some hand traps or something, there's a chance that you could disrupt their hand. This will also allow you to start picking for more cards while being able to potentially throw more pieces of Exodia into the discard pile to power up your Incarnate. Instant Fusion. Again, we have the 2 targets in our extra deck, and one of them is going to be used as Called by the Grave for the turn. We are using the 1 Day of Peace. Both players draw. Neither player takes damage until the resolution of the opponent's next turn. Spellbook of Knowledge. Send to the graveyard either a spellcaster monster you control, which again is kind of why this is unintentionally themed, or one other spellbook card from your hand or face up on your side of the field. Except Knowledge, and if you do draw 2 cards, you can only activate 1 of these per turn. Again, if we ended up with 2 of these, again, it just said we couldn't discard the other one. You could discard a copy of Secrets, though. You could discard Boy Blue from the hand, or you could tribute a spellcaster from your side of the field. But this is, again, why I had the card destruction, the hand destruction, and the Summoner Monk. Again, this is like a once per turn spell, so like once you've done it, if you play 1 and draw the other 2, you're not stuck holding on to those cards. You can definitely out them and just keep playing through. Secrets, as add another spellbook card from deck to hand, except Secrets. You can only activate 1 of these per turn. And again, since it's a spellbook card, you can grab Boy Blue. It doesn't specify monster or spell traps. We do run the 3 unexpected dies again. If you control no monster, special summon a level 4 or lower normal monster from the deck. And this is one of the easiest ways to develop into an Exodia piece. And then, like I said, with Jester Confit and stuff, we're able to unexpected die, go into one appendage, Link Spider, play one from hand as special right behind it, discard for Jester Confit, something else, and then tag 4 for Saryuja. So again, it's not a terrible thing to do. Unexpected die is actually kind of amazing. And let me know if you guys like that tech or not. Upstart Goblin, draw a card, your opponent gains 1,000 life points. It's cool. We're just going to beat on him with Exodia anyway. And then Wonder Wand. Again, I was thinking I was going to put Called by the Grave or the Utopia Double or Nothing in here. And this was like my switch up spot, and I went with the Wonder Wand for the extra draw. Equip only to a spellcaster type creature. It gains 500 attack, totally unnecessary. If you control the equipped creature and this card, you can send both to the graveyard to draw 2 cards. And again, the only reason I don't like it is I couldn't do it while gaining more advantage by going straight into a link. So it is going to be the effect of the Wonder Wand that's going to get you the draw 2. But again, if you started with 2 unexpected dies, you can play unexpected die, get that Exodia piece from your deck, Wonder Wand it, draw the 2 cards, and then activate and resolve another one. So again, it's not terrible. It didn't come up a whole lot during play tests. It was just sort of like a funny 40th card slot. Let's talk about one of the best cards in the deck. Let's talk about Obliterate. Let's get a nice close-up here. Okay, so you can target 1 monster on the field, send 1 Forbidden 1 monster or Exodia card from your hand or deck, and that's important, to the graveyard. And if you do, return the targeted card to the hand. So once per turn, we can just blast something off the field, and we can cycle the Exodia pieces from our deck. That's amazing. If this is sent from the spell and trap zone to the graveyard, you can target 1 Forbidden 1 monster or Exodia card in your graveyard and add that to your hand. You can only use 1 Obliterate effect per turn and only once that turn, so you can't activate multiple copies. This is why 2 is the magic number here. We want to see it, but we don't want to see it too often. But again, if we do, we get called by we've got, hand destruction and card destruction to help cycle it out. Again, your opponent's probably going to target it pretty quickly, so again, like an extra copy in your deck doesn't exactly hurt you. But this is just a crazy bit of control where you basically loop between this and your Incarnate, and you just keep messing around with the opponent. It's an amazing thing. It was very fun. And then, of course, Strike. If a monsters would be special summoned or a monster effect activated, pay 1,500, negate the summon or activation of the effect, and if you do, destroy the card. Perfect blanket protections for you guys. And then, real quick, let's just knock out the extra deck. Millenniumize Restrict is the card that's going to act as though we are called by the grave. So once per turn, when your opponent activates a monster effect as a quick effect, target an effect monster your opponent controls or in their graveyard, which is why we say it's called by the grave, because it can attack the card while it's in the graveyard. Equip that target to this card that you control. This card gains attack and defense equal to the equipped monster's stats. And monsters with that card's name cannot attack, and their effects on the field and activated effects are negated. Very similar to how Called by the Grave would work. We also run the Thousand Eyes Restrict in case we just want to vacuum clean something off the field. And this will help us with a little bit of spot control. So let's say we're not worried about a hand trap, we can go to this instead, Vacuum Cleaner. And again, depending on our opponent's board positions, this is why Relinquished Anima's in here as well. It'll let us get a double vacuum on a turn. So our links are pretty self-explanatory. Apollosa is here to stop monster effects. Artemis is here for nothing except it is linkable by 1 level 4 lower spellcaster monster. Sometimes you just want to do that. It's not terrible. You do have Boral Sword. And I think I should go back and say, like, again, once you've used like Link Spider real quick, this is another way for you to go ahead and out your Exodia pieces, because you got to remember that they're all spellcasters. It's not that I just threw it in here because it's useful for a spellcaster. I meant to say that you out pieces of Exodia this way. Boral Sword is a very budget version or ability similar to Access Code Talker, so that's why we've got him in here. We do have IP Masquerena. We do have the ability to make some Link climb. And this will allow us to have a little more versatility while giving it the ability that the monster that used this as material cannot be destroyed by opponent card effects, while we're also going to be able to link summon during our opponent's main phase. So this is very good turnaround tech. And then again, Cerberus, Phoenix, and Unicorn. To activate all of their effects causes a discard. So again, if you're trying to power up your Incarnate, this is another great way to get an Exodia piece into the discard pile while getting an effect that you want. Those effects are destroy one special summon monster. Those are destroy one spell trap. Or take one card on the opponent's side of the field and seal it back into their deck. Now, the Link Spider is one normal monster. Once per turn, you can special summon a level 4 lower normal monster from your hand to a zone this points to. Again, this can help us get into a Saryuja play. Link Karibo is just a generic reusable character, so one level 1 monster. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you contribute this card, change that monster's attack to 0 until the end of this turn. If this is in the graveyard as a quick effect, you contribute one level 1, special summon this card, using this effect only once per turn. Relinquished Anima, also one level 1 monster, and again, this one's actually going to go so far as to say that you can't use tokens, so no goat control, guys. You can target one face-up monster this card points to. Equip that face-up monster to this card. Again, it can only hold 1. You can only use this effect once per turn, and this card gains attack equal to the equipped monster's attack. So again, it's just like having another version of Relinquished with you. Al Mirage is one normal summon monster with 1,000 or less attack. And again, we can do this very rapidly. Again, all the Exodia pieces can count. And this is if we want to give something some protection. So the quick effect here is you contribute this card, target one monster you control. It cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects this turn. When a normal summon monster you control is destroyed by battle, while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card. You can only use this effect once per turn. So again, he's sort of reusable. Saryuja Skulldread has combined effects. It is 2+ monsters, different names. Again, I will show you how easy it is on just a single little bit, what you can do to get this character. So again, gains effects equal, or gains all the effects based on the number of materials that you use. So if you use at least 2, anything that's normal or special summoned to zones this card points to gets 300 attack defense. If you use at least 3, it also gets to once per turn during the main phase, special summon a monster from your hand. And if you used all 4 different names, which you're very capable of, when this is link summoned, you can additionally draw 4 cards, then place 3 from your hand to the bottom of the deck in any order. I'll show you guys how to do that here real quick. And then Triple Burst Dragon, so 2+ monsters, no tokens. Once per turn during a damage step, when a spell trap or monster effect is activated, quick effect. You can negate the activation if this card attacks a defense position monster and inflict piercing. During the main phase, except the turn is a special summon, you contribute this card, then target one Link 2 or lower monster in the graveyard. Special summon it, and then you can special summon a level 4 lower dragon from your hand. We're not going to get that last effect, but this is good to block things that happen during the damage step. And I'm sure you guys understand that. Now, let me show you just how quick and easy it is to make the Saryuja. So again, all we need to do is generate 4 monsters with different names. And again, if you start with any Exodia piece in your hand, a Summoner Monk, let's say a spell you're not going to use, and I think that's about all you need outside of Unexpected Die. So Unexpected Die will allow you to play out any one normal monster out of your deck. So you'll be able to get your left leg real quick. Left leg allows you to say, yep, that's a normal monster. Let's go into Link Spider. And now that you have your Link Spider, you're able to generate your arm, which means that you can play your monk, which means you can play your hand discard your hand destruction. Sorry, the monk would actually be in defense. This will allow us to get our Witch of the Black Forest, and boom, we're already at 4 cards. And guess what, guys? We're going to go ahead and just play Saryuja real quick while adding our Incarnate to our hand and guaranteeing that once we get another Exodia piece, we're going to be able to... Okay, you guys can't see that. That's off camera. Sorry, that once we get another Exodia piece, we're going to have 2,000 points for our card. So just right there is just a quick card combination. It's going to let you get into your Saryuja. I didn't want to do a combos video for this deck just because, like there's not too much to it. It's really just like, can you make Saryuja? And can you effectively get Incarnate to your hand? And again, we're doing it all in one because we're going to get the Witch's effect as well. So that's pretty cool. And that's it. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Again, Arbogast, big thanks for suggesting this. And again, one more time, sorry it took so long. I was really trying to polish this one and make sure that I did this one right. And I enjoyed it. So again, thank you for the challenge, the request. It was very fun. Guys, do me one big favor. Favor? Wow, I can't English today. Do me one big favor, guys. Have a wonderful day, all right? I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.